30 April 2021 Morning Murli Om Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, you are studying personally with the Father in order to become worthy of the golden age sovereignty. You definitely have to become pure. Question: what is the Father's occupation which only you children know? Answer: you know that your Father is the Father, the teacher, and also the Sadguru. The Father comes at the confluence age of the cycle to make the old world new, to establish the one original eternal deity religion. The Father is now teaching us children in order to change us from humans into deities. No one apart from we children knows his occupation. Song: no one is unique like the innocent Lord. Om Shanti. The meaning of Om Shanti has been explained to you children again and again. Om means I am a soul and this is my body. The body can also say this is my soul, just as shivbaba says you are mine and children say Baba you are mine. In the same way, the soul says my body and the body would say my soul. The soul knows that he is imperishable. The body cannot do anything without the soul. The soul has a body and says, don't trouble my soul. My soul is a charitable soul, or my soul is a sinful soul. You souls know that you were charitable souls in the golden age. The soul himself says, I was Satapradhan, real gold in the golden age. I wasn't really gold. But this is said and even an example. My soul was pure and golden age. The soul now says, I am impure. People of the world don't understand this. You receive Srimad. You souls now know that you were Satapradhan and have now become Tamapradhan. It is the same for everything. Childhood, adolescence and old age. Everything definitely comes old from new. The world too was Satapradhan and golden age at first, and it then became Tamapradhan and iron age, and that is why everyone is unhappy. Satapradhan means the reformed world and Tamapradhan means the spoilt world. In the song too, it says the one who reforms the spoilt world. The old world is spoilt because it is the kingdom of Ravan and everyone is impure. In the golden age, all were pure and that was called the new viceless world. This is the old vicious world. It is now the iron age. None of those things are taught in schools or colleges. God comes and teaches you Raj Yoga. God speaks is mentioned in the Gita, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad means elevated directions. God is the most elevated of all, the highest on high. His accurate name is Shiva. You would never have heard the expression Rudra Jayanti or Rudra Ratri. People speak of Shivratri, but Shiv is incorporeal. So, how can the birthday of the incorporeal one be celebrated? To speak of the birth of Krishna is fine. He is the child of so, and his time and date of birth are mentioned. No one knows when Shiv was born. This should be known. You have now received the understanding of how Sri Krishna took birth at the beginning of the golden age. You say that was 5,000 years ago. It is also said that Bharat was paradise 3,000 years before Christ. Before Islam, there was the Moon dynasty, and therefore them there was the Sun dynasty. The scriptures have given the golden age a duration of hundreds of thousands of years. The Gita is the main scripture. It was through the Gita that the deity religion was established. That lasts through the golden and silver ages. That means the original eternal deity religion was established by the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, through the Gita. Then for half the cycle there were neither any scriptures nor founders of any religions. The Father came and changed Brahmins into deities and warriors, which means that the Father establishes three religions. Thus is the leap religion. Its duration is very short. The most elevated jewel of all scriptures, the Gita, was sung by God. The Father doesn't take rebirth. He does take birth, but he says, I don't enter a womb. I do not receive sustenance. Children born in the golden age stay in the palace of a womb, whereas in the kingdom of Ravan, they have to go into the jail of a womb. Punishment for sins is experienced in jail. They promise in the womb that they won't commit any more sin, but this is the world of sinful souls. As soon as the baby comes out, means he is born, he begins to commit sin. The promise made there is left there. Here, too many promise that they won't commit any more sin, that they won't use the sword of lust on one another, because that vice causes sorrow from the time it begins, through the middle to the end. There is no poison in the golden age. Therefore, people there don't suffer any sorrow from the beginning through the middle to the end of their 21 births, because it is the kingdom of the God. The Father is once again carrying out its establishment. The establishment of it would only take place at the confluence age, would it not? Anyone who comes to establish a religion must not commit any sin. For half their time they are charitable souls, and then after half their time they become sinful souls. You are charitable souls in the golden and silver ages, and you then become sinful souls. When a Satapradhan soul comes from up above, he cannot experience punishment. When the Christ soul came to establish a religion, he could not have experienced punishment. They say that Christ was crucified on a cross. However, that soul had not performed any sinful actions. The body that the soul enters experiences pain and tolerates everything. It is similar to how Baba enters this one. Baba is Satapradhan. Any pain or difficulty is experienced by this one, not by shivbaba. That one is constantly peaceful and happy. He is ever Satapradhan. However, he still enters this old body in the same way. The body that the Christ soul entered could experience pain, but the Christ soul could not have experienced pain because he still had to go through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. New souls do come down, and so they definitely have to experience happiness at first. They cannot experience sorrow at first. That isn't the law. Baba is sitting in this one. Any difficulty is experienced by this one means Brahma, not by shivbaba. However, only you know these things. No one else knows them. The Father sits here and explains all of these secrets to you. Establishment takes place through this easy Raj Yoga, and the same things are then remembered on the path of devotion. Whatever happens at the confluence age is remembered. Shivbaba is worshipped when the path of devotion begins. Who performs devotion first? When Lakshmi and Narayan rule the kingdom, they are worthy of worship. Then, when the latter go on to the path of sin, they change from being worthy of worship into worshippers. The father explained it should first enter the intellects of you children that the incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is teaching you through this one. There cannot be any other place like this throughout the whole world where they would explain in this way. Only the Father comes and once again gives Bharat the inheritance of heaven. At the bottom of the picture of the Trimurti, it is written, Dutiful sovereignty is your godfatherly birthright. Shivbaba comes and gives you children your inheritance of the sovereignty of heaven by making you worthy. You know that Baba is making you worthy. You were impure, were you not? When you became pure, those bodies will not remain. You are made impure by Ravan. Then the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, purifies us and makes us into the masters of the pure world. He is the ocean of knowledge and the purifier. That incorporeal Baba is teaching us. Not everyone can study together. Only a few of you are sitting here in person, and all the rest of the children understand that Shivbaba would now be sitting in the body of Brahma and giving the knowledge of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the world. They will receive that Murli in writing. It is not like this in other spiritual gatherings. Recently, the tape recorder has been invented, and so they send a cassette recording. Those people would say that such and such a guru is relating this. They only have a human being in their intellects. That does not apply here. Here, the incorporeal Father is the knowledgeful one. Human beings cannot be called knowledgeful. It is said that God, the Father, is knowledgeful, peaceful, and blissful, and so there has to be the inheritance from Him. His children have to receive His virtues. You are now receiving them. We are imbibing virtues and becoming like Lakshmi and Narayan. Not everyone will become a king or queen. It is remembered that there are kings, queens, and advisors. There are no advisors there because the emperor and empress have power. It is when they became vicious that they need advisors, etc. Previously, there weren't any ministers, etc. That was the kingdom of the one king and queen. Why would they have needed advisors? Since they themselves were the masters, they didn't need to take advice. This is history and geography. However, it should first of all enter your intellects while walking around and doing everything that the Father is educating you and teaching you yoga. Stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance. The play is now coming to an end. Because we indulge in vice, we have become completely impure, and this is why it is said sinful souls. There aren't any sinful souls in the golden age. There are only charitable souls there. That is the reward for which you are now making effort. Yours is the pilgrimage of remembrance. That is called the yoga of Bharat. But they don't understand that yoga means remembrance through which sins are absolved. You then shed your bodies and return home. That is called the sweet home. The soul says, I am a resident of that land of peace. We came from there bodiless and took bodies here in order to play our parts. It has also been explained that the 5 vices are called Maya. They are 5 evil spirits. There are the evil spirits of lust and anger, and the number 1 evil spirit is body consciousness. The Father explains these vices don't exist in the golden age. That is called the viceless world. It is only the Father's task to make the vicious world viceless. He alone is called the Almighty Authority, the ocean of knowledge and the purifier. At this time, everyone is born through corruption. Only in the golden age is the word viceless. The father says you now have to change from vicious to viceless. They ask, how can children be born without this poison? The father explains, this is now your last birth. The land of death is to end, and after that there won't be any vicious people. This is why you have to promise the father that you will remain pure. They say, Baba, I will definitely claim my inheritance from you. People take a false oath. They don't even know God in whose name they take the oath. They don't know when or how he comes. They don't know anything about his name, form, land or time period, etc. The father comes and gives his own introduction. You are now receiving his introduction. No one in the world knows God, the Father. They call out to him and also worship him, but they don't know his occupation. You now know that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is your Father, Teacher and Sadguru. This Father himself has given you his introduction. He says, I am your Father. I have entered this body. Establishment takes place through Prajapita Brahma, of whom Brahmins. You Brahmins then became deities by studying. I come and change you from Shudras into Brahmins. The father says, I come at the confluence age of the cycle. The cycle is 5,000 years long. This world cycle continues to turn. I come to make the old world new and establish the original eternal deity religion. Then I destroy all the old religions. I teach you children and change you from humans into deities for 21 births. Deities means those of the Sun dynasty and the Moon dynasty and also their subjects. However, you only claim an elevated status according to how much effort you make now. Whatever effort you make now will continue for every cycle. You understand that you make that effort every cycle and that is the status you will attain. It is in the intellects of you children that the incorporeal one is teaching you. Only by remembering him will your sins be absolved. Your sins cannot be absolved without remembering him. Human beings don't even know how many births they take. Someone has written a tall story in the scriptures about 8.4 million births. You now understand that there are 84 births. This is your last birth and you will then go to heaven. You will first go to the incorporeal world and then go to heaven. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, remain firm in the promise you have made to the Father to remain pure. You must definitely gain victory over the evil spirits of lust and anger, etc. Second point, while walking around and doing everything, remember the Father who is teaching you. The play is now coming to an end. Therefore, you definitely do have to become pure in this last birth. Blessing. May you always be free from obstacles and become an embodiment of solutions by having a constant and stable state, by having love for the One and having faith in the One. Explanation. Always remain observed in love for the One Father and for His task in such a way that you Do not feel that there is any other person or position in the world. The children who have love for the One, who have faith in the One, and have a constant and stable stage are always free from obstacles and experience the stage of ascent. They transform excuses into solutions. They do not become weak with excuses but become embodiments of solutions. Slogan: To be bodiless is a viceless set, and to be viceless is the setting for the wireless set. Om Shanti.